It's now time for another episode of Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway. This one's going to be a little bit different because this is Season 2, Episode 14. It's called Alliances. And as soon as I finished watching it yesterday, I went up and told you, if you have time before we record next, check this out. Because it's crazy. There's so much going on about it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to really do a recap of the story this time because we both watched it.
If only all the episodes were like this one.
This episode turns into a big soap opera. And it's great. Because there's so much going on. I mean, the Kazon are attacking them. And they're adrift. 5 minutes later, the ship is fine. We get some stuff on medbay so that we can see the doctor. The doctor and Kes, his nurse, are there. So that's just so we can see them. But there's so much going on. I mean, we get the return of Seska. Again?
Yeah.
So she's looking full-on Cardassian, and she's with her... What's that guy? The Moth or something? Cullah?
Jerk guy.
Yeah,
they don't have a strong position, but they
the
pretend
Mage
they do.
Cullah. So
he's a real a-hole.
He's an idiot. He's the one who they captured Chakotay. Remember I talked to you about that? And then this is the guy who gave him a weapon so he could and then he escaped, right?
Right. He's not that smart. And
they're very sexist.
They're not that advanced, these Kazon guys. They got like spaceships and stuff, so they have some science.
So we
there,
get some more intrigue with Seska, who is one of the very few interesting characters in this series. And she's great. She's played by Martha Hackett. Yeah. And I think this actress is great. So she's back, and now we get more drama because before she was telling Chakotay that she stole his essence and now has got his...
Oh gosh, yeah, they didn't deal with that in this episode.
But instead, she's saying that now her baby daddy is Mage Cullah.
Oh, well that's
okay.
Better.
So she's just lying to everyone.
She's
so who's the father?
Her position, and now there's a spy in the midst. One of these Maquis people that they never really identify who they all are. But apparently he's a Maquis because there was only like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, one of them was Seska.
And one of them was Chakotay and B'Elanna and Tuvok, so I don't know where these people are coming from.
But Tuvok was a spy.
I know, but he was like on that ship. There was only a few on the ship, so we got another Maquis guy, I guess. There's random
We got
Maquis.
2.
Yeah.
So one guy's disagreeing with Janeway at the funeral.
Which you never do out in public. You never argue with the captain.
But like also, then there's another Maquis guy, and he contacts...
In engineering.
Yeah, well, both of them I think were engineers. He contacts the Kazon. He's like, don't worry, I'm familiar with communication. So he's the communications officer, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so they want to get their technology.
He's contacting them, working against the Voyager, which he's on.
Yeah.
And he's contacting the Kazon behind their back, and then it never goes back to him. We don't find out what happens to him.
Well, nothing, because it's not known.
It just drops off.
Well, he's going to be continuing to do that. They haven't found him.
Janeway tries to form an alliance with Cullah and Seska. That doesn't go well.
She should have looked into her history books a little bit more on that one.
And then Neelix meets up with the Trabe. And then these guys are so nice and everything, and they're like,
she's assuming everybody's nice.
We just want to be peaceful. Yes, we did this to the Kazon, so we get more of their background, and all their ships are from the Trabe, and they were originally just enslaved to the Trabe.
Yeah, I don't really know how they took over, but
they revolted, and now they're on their own, and so the Trabe are like, we just want to make peace, and that turns out to be complete BS.
Well, they want peace, all right. Peace by eliminating the Kazon. That does create peace.
So this guy in charge of the Trabe, he tries to kill them all. All of them get together, all the Majas, okay, the head of the clans, the Kazon clans, and they meet with this guy from the Trabe and the Voyager representative, Janeway. And then they're like, sorry, I got a call. We got to go.
She's finally trying to win them over. And, of course, but we've seen this before. We saw this with the movie with Chris Pine when Pike gets killed, where all the Starfleet people are all in one room, right? And the ship appears from...
Yeah, that was a bad movie. Into Darkness.
Yeah, Into Darkness, and they shoot everybody, right? We've seen that before.
But like,
they copied from this.
This was way more interesting. Now, it doesn't make sense that this trade ship is shooting and doesn't hit anyone. Like, no one's got a scratch on them. That makes no sense. She
tells them to get down. It's a very sturdy table. Because remember, the table was really important.
But if you got guns on a starship, those are big guns, right?
But these trade people don't have the right stuff, right? Because the Kazon took it all. So they don't have, like, all the right stuff. Because if they did, they would have won a long time ago.
Point is, at the end of this at the beginning of this episode, they're in a bad spot. Because I think what's happening is they keep going straight towards the Alpha Quadrant, right? But as we've seen from previous episodes, the Kazon, wherever they go, they just claim that as their territory, right? So all these clans are chasing Voyager, and they're just moving with it.
It's like Afghanistan.
And they keep coming after them.
It's like Afghanistan. It's all full of different tribes, different leaders. The politics is very complex. And outside forces are never going to succeed.
Their only main goal is that they are all going after this ship that has this advanced technology that they want. Other than that, they don't work together. But at the beginning, Voyager's in a bad spot, and they're adrift, even though the ship looks fine.
Well, it's not like they...
And then at the end, they're still in the same position, except now the Kazon are even more pissed off with them, because they think that Voyager double-crossed them, which they didn't.
Well...
The Trade they're now fighting with the Trade, because they're dicks, too. And then there's this really bad speech at the end that Janeway gives, like, we must hold on to our principles of Starfleet because they're the best friend we could ever have. It's a really bad speech.
The problem is, in the first couple episodes, they were real a-holes to the Kazon. They didn't pay them respect. I don't think they adhered to their principles properly. And every time they've come across them, they've been real a-holes to them. So a-holes and a-holes. I mean, that's basically, why would they be nice to the Federation? They were real jerks to them in the beginning.
But they tried to make peace this time, and it didn't go well at all. So things are just getting worse for this crew, right?
Yeah,
And I think the Kazon are just chasing them and going after them the whole time. So.
Right. And it also shows, like, you can have a person that seems to share your values and is all nice and everything, but the problem is he's a believer in genocide. That's never good.
Why do you think that Cullen, because he wants to swap crew with Janeway.
Oh, he wants the technology.
He wants to spy on them.
That's the whole purpose. So now they do have a spy. He wants the technology. Of course they do. Because that's how they've got all the trade. I thought they were trade, but the trade stuff.
So far in this series, the most interesting character is Seska. And so any episode that we get Martha Hackett on there playing Seska, it's a much better episode.
But we still don't see her very much.
No.
She's just trying to get her own position solidified. It's not very strong.
I think
she's doing a better job.
I don't know this for a fact, but I think later on she ends up back on Voyager, even though she's Cardassian now. I can't wait to find out what happens with her, because I don't know what happens with Seska in the end, so don't spoil it for me, but this episode 14, it's great. Okay? It's absolutely good. Oh, and one thing I'll mention, because your favorite character, Harry Kim, who is not an interesting character, he appears at one point, and it's only so that he can argue with Janeway, because Janeway's like, okay, fine, maybe we have to form some kind of alliance, because otherwise they're going to destroy us, right?
It's a when in Rome situation, right?
So Harry Kim gets to speak only at this time so that he can be like, nope, we shouldn't do this, Captain. They're not trustworthy.
He's such a Boy Scout.
Yeah, that's exactly his character. He's the Boy Scout. And he's so naive.
Kind of Boy Scouts in the end.
But he's the worst. He's the worst. And he's so naive about the world, you know?
This is his first job. Why would you even listen to him? Why is he so important? That also doesn't make sense.
Because he's on the bridge.
Yeah, I know, but he's not important. He's one of those guys that when you take him to a planet, he's the guy that gets killed off. But for some reason at Voyager, they thought, let's give him a choice position. He's like, this is their first job, but yet he's in all like command meetings.
There is a good scene. Well, yeah, but you also got ex-con Tom Paris in all those meetings.
And Neelix, who is like just...
Oh, he was in the meetings because he's the food expert. How are our rations? Are we good for food? We're great, Captain.
Neelix a more exciting character. He should be more nefarious. They try to make him seem a bit nefarious, but he's not. He's like a Boy Scout too. And he should have kind of come around to his ways, but instead, no. Everyone's like a Boy Scout.
I think the reason they have Neelix in the show is he's supposed to be the comic relief, but he's not that funny.
No, the writing for his character was a complete disaster. Yes.
There was another interesting scene here where they're going along, and then suddenly this armada comes up, and they hail them. Because it's the Kazon ships, but it turns out it's not the Kazon, it's Neelix with the Trabe.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice twist there.
Neelix should have been like the Taylor Garrick. That's what he should have been.
Who's Garrick?
Garrick from Deep Space Nine. He was the Cardassian that had the tailor shop on Deep Space Nine. He was the resident Cardassian.
I don't remember this
he was a very interesting character, and you never really knew his alliances, what he was up to.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of like doing things behind everyone's back, but he really was like a good guy, sort of. But he was a Cardassian.
But he's Cardassian, and we hate the Cardassians.
That's the way that Neelix should have been written.
Mm-hmm.
That he's got these underhanded dealings. Because sometimes he seems a little bit like that, but then he's such like he would be like the best neighbor on the street, man. He would be like,
I guess,
having big barbecues
for
everybody.
I wanted you to watch this episode because I thought it was pretty crazy and wacky. Did you enjoy this episode?
Yeah, well, I wish they were all like that, but they're not. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But
There's so much going on.
When I first watched Voyager, I really did watch it with rose-colored glasses, kind of assuming they knew what they were doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it later. I tried to watch all the Star Trek shows again. This was a few years ago, and I just couldn't do it. Remember? I was like suffering.
Well, if you go back, I've been watching our segments of Chakotay's Odyssey, and they're hilarious. I really enjoyed them. But if you watch the first two, where you were watching them with me, and you're so mad, they're really funny.
I just think
this is dumb. Why are they doing this?
Like, I wish I could have been a writer on some of it. Like, I just said, don't do that. Like, there's some big pitfalls they have here in the show. Anyway, but an episode like this is great when we see a real good episode, right?
Check out Season 2, Episode 14, Alliances for Star Trek Voyager. Like, the previous one was really bad with B'Elanna, but this one was great. And, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And I even made Christine watch this episode because it was actually really good. But check out some of the other episodes I've mentioned, dear.
When I have a chance.
Those are the ones with Seska. And that was another exciting episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
With Seska.
Yeah, should be the Seska show.